So, welcome. It's day 79 of this 365-day journey. Uh, I'm having a rough morning. I made some pretty bad food choices yesterday, um, and, and that's hard to process in your head. When you make mistakes, and I made plenty yesterday. Caught up with a buddy who I hadn't seen in a minute. Um, Went and had lunch. I overate. It was food that I hadn't had in a long time. I wanted some of this and I wanted some of that, so I ate all of both. Um, then I had a rough dinner, but at least I threw a salad in there, a little roughage. You know what I mean? I realized that my food choices were not good, so um, I have to live with those consequences. There was a spike in the scale, but I think ultimately it's more of a backup issue as opposed to like putting more fat on my system or losing muscle, um, which is a consequence I'm willing to deal with. I understand that life is life, and it's going to have a way of getting in the way of itself. I don't have. I'm not ever going to be able to never eat the food I want again. If that's the kind of you know, I don't want to say inspiration because that's not the right word, but the direction that you're trying to get, it's not going to be me. Oh, you got to never eat this or that again. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to live my fucking life. Um, I still like whiskey. I'm gonna drink a whiskey from now. I'm gonna smoke a cigar. I'm gonna sit and read a book, have a fucking cigar and a whiskey, and and take a little time to take all that in, because you know you don't stop to smell the roses. You know what I mean? So the reality for me, at least, is make sure you're consistent about the things you need to be consistent about. I get it. You're never gonna outrun a fucking a bad diet. And I'm not gonna be able not ever gonna be able to. I got a fake hip. I ain't outrunning shit. I don't run from anything. I don't even run from the police anymore. That's why we got lawyers. Um, I'm just trying to be better every day. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be real and raw. Like I didn't sleep well last night. I went from actually getting some REM sleep and some deep sleep yesterday to getting nothing today, and it's all because of the way I ate yesterday. So the consequences. I'm not happy with myself, but definitely understand that if I'm gonna let these things dictate my life, then what am I doing? I could have just stayed, a drunk, fat jag off. But the reality is, I want to be better. I've got people that are counting on me, and and sometimes we're gonna take those steps backwards. You know what I mean? As long as it's more steps forward, then I'm gonna take it as a win. You know what I mean? I've got some stuff going on today. Um, I'm gonna try real hard to maintain my food, but I'm gonna go ride my motorcycle. It's my day off. You know what I mean? I have to be back on the grind tomorrow, so go enjoy myself. I'm gonna go put some miles on the bike. Um, Maybe go see, if I could find a state park that I can enjoy some fucking beauty just to go see. So add the motorcycle ride in, maybe do a little hike, and hopefully, it all comes out in the wash. I also have a breakfast with one of my dear friends this morning. Um, it's become a tradition that we once a week we have breakfast together. You know, I've known the guy since I was 14. Reestablishing bonds with people that have been there for you, that's important. You know, those are those are the people that I'm out there, you know, taking greatness from, and using things that they do to make myself better. And hopefully I can give a little bit back to him. You know, that's what this journey is about for me. I thought it was just about losing weight, going to the gym every day for a year, but the reality is the going to the gym is about the consistency for me. You know, I saw something yesterday about, you know, 6 o'clock friends and 3 a.m. friends, and and something about, people help you up to 6 o'clock. You call them up to 6 o'clock, and they'll be there to help you. But then there's the guys that you could call at 3 a.m. and you know that they're going to answer because it means that there's a fucking real problem. You know what I mean? We're talking about variant bodies, and I honestly believe I've got way more than most people of those guys. You know what I mean? And I want to be that for other people. And the reality is, you know, I might not be able to be there to bury bodies for you, but I am I am here to make sure that you know that somebody thinks that you can do this right. And by right, I don't mean not missing fucking any steps. It's I mean, once you miss a step, you're gonna pick your fucking ass up off the ground and take another step forward. You know what I mean? Just remember, walking is falling in a forward direction and just putting your foot out. You know what I mean? And doing it over and over again. So when we have falls, try and fall forward and keep moving. That's the best advice I can give today. Um, it's time to get into the gym. Wish me luck. Have a great day. Remember, it's hell getting old. Find somebody who's willing to ride with you.